I'm Mimi P. Today we're still building on relationship. And today my message is more for the non-custodial parents. Let's face it, in today's society, a lot of the households may have two parents, but not the two parents of the child, the ones that came together to bring that child into this world, that blessing that they receive. So let's talk about this. A lot of men, you say that you can't get your child when you want it. You can't make that impression you want. So every time you get the child, you feel like it has to be a takeout, go somewhere, amusement park, to the movies or somewhere like that. And that is absolutely correct and absolutely fine to a degree. There has to be some time of conversation, dialogue. And I'm going to say, go ahead and tell those corny jokes, but make sure your jokes is appropriate. And I'm going to be very frank because it's about loving your child and doing the best. And again, I'm one who say I love you all, and this is of encouragement that I do. This is the task that God has assigned me to be encouraging. Some of the things I've known or learned in classes, experience, some things I've learned from hearing other people, and I want to share, and you can process. No, I can never tell you about the full male experience because I am female, but I want to help you guys kind of gather through. Because some of y'all out there, you care about your children. You don't just say it. You really try to be there and show up, and there you go. So let's get started. How about when you take your child and do different things? How about having that conversation and ask questions? Never to be spiteful towards the parent or to be able to play blame, because this means you got to step up and take some responsibility. And believe me, mothers struggle as single parents. So fathers, if you want to be a single parent, you can. That excuse don't work. You don't make enough money, it don't work. But here we go. How about having a hard conversation? Just talking. Whatever happened to the old days when you can walk? Nobody's saying walk a mile. Walk a quarter of a mile. And by the time you walk that quarter of a mile and you come back, you walked a half a mile. One of my famous Olympic stars is Jesse Owens, because he was talked about walking. And you get that feeling of, hey, walking and talking. Take your child out and talk about the day, especially when they're young. Little kids like to tell you, that bumblebee over there, it keeps stinging that flower. Just giggle. We know they're pollinating. The child will learn it a little later. If you want to help them, say, hey, it's called pollination. But how about asking that child, how is it at home? You getting along with your brothers and your sisters? What do they do to make you upset? Do anybody ever do something and tell you to be quiet? And smile with them. Don't look serious. You can frighten them. And you frighten them to hold that information in. So we got to learn to, I don't care if you're not one who smiles all the time. You have to learn how to let that child know that brightness and security is in you to protect them. So ask them when they ask, they say things, even when they say, I don't want to talk about it. Sometimes you got to learn your child to kind of navigate it. Maybe leave it alone for a little bit. Come back. Say, when I was little, my brother used to punch me in the arm. I couldn't stand it. Rub your arm, kind of act it out. That helps them. Oh, I couldn't stand it. Or, hey, when I was little, we used to play hide and go seek, and they would know I was in the closet, and they would hold that door so I couldn't get out. That scared me. I would be banging on that door. You got to be animated, especially with the young. I was banging on that door, let me out, let me out. So I quit hiding in the closet. You got to get creative. The whole focus is to get a true sense of what's going in the house. Now listen, your motives, that means what you got going on in your mind and your heart, should not be to get even or just to get gossip. Because nothing that child should say, unless it's to protect them, should you be running and telling everybody else. Because when it gets back, now the child get in trouble for talking about they telling their business, or you're accused of always being in their business just to see what they doing. Don't worry, I'm going to talk to the mothers. But your child need to be protected. Don't be so focused on who the man is your mama date, the baby's mama dating. Because remember, you're dating too. And this conversation goes both ways. Did that man ever tell you to come in that room by yourself? Are you sitting on that man's lap? You got to have a conversation. Y'all parenting together. Come on, let's sit down and make boundaries for our children. The girls don't sit on your man's lap or the boys. And the girls don't sit on my woman's lap or the boys. You have to let children know there's boundaries. And let me tell you, teaching them boundaries now helps them with boundaries later in life. And if so happen, somebody do something outside those boundaries, hey, they were taught better. You know the old saying, I taught you better. So take those times. You know, it shouldn't be that Father's Day has always got to be out and go to the Father's Day picnic or outing. Before you had that conversation, go have a conversation, then take them to have some fun. Be careful with the movies your children watch. However, sometimes when you're watching a movie, if a child have a certain response, pause that movie. Have a conversation with the children. Believe them. And don't run off having a tantrum. Yes, adults, we have tantrums. Because you can mess it up. You could terrify that child where that child will clam up and don't want to say a word. Let us also understand this, fathers. So you wasn't in your child's life at an early age. But now you're coming around. They 10, 12, 15. I don't know. But I hear men say, oh, it's like all they want to talk about is that you wasn't there then. You wasn't there then. And their mama said this or somebody said that. Let's keep the focus. You're building relationship now. I don't know how to tell you to get over that. But I'm going to say, ask the child to say, hey, I wasn't there. You might have to say it over and over. I wasn't there, but I'm here now. I'm right here in the moment, in the present time, so we can do better going forward. Tell them that a couple of times and make sure you understand. Telling them you're here in the moment, in the present time, meaning that I'm here today and I'm not going to disappear for a month. Live out of the state, telephone, FaceTime. You have to make that showing up consistent. Make the conversation different. You like girls, you like boys. Fathers, I'm going to ask you. I know a lot of y'all have different ideas than me as a woman, especially as a Christian woman. But I'll say this. Your boy say how he popped a girl's bra and you laughing, or how he popped a girl's butt in school and you laughing. Careful of that. You don't want your son being charged with sexual harassment or inappropriate touch. And you saying, oh, they trying to hem my son up and give him a record. Hold on. I'm not saying that's not true or whatever, but some parents teaching ours. Boy, they got no business touching your bra. That's your undergarment. He's got motives. And let's be frank, he do. Just like girls have motives the way they do. But touching of the butt, have you noticed they don't do that so much on the football field anymore? We got to teach them so they don't get caught up in something that was never meant to be caught up in. Hey, take my book, The Parental Instructor Guides to My Body is a Sacrifice. Yes, It's about $12. It is $12 from Dorian's publishing company and Amazon too. But Amazon take most of the author's profit. I'm asking you to order it from Dorian's publishing company. And understand this. In this book, it talks about boundaries. It talks about how things happen in the house or in the family and how it affects society. In here, it talks about a narrative, a biblical narrative, how a situation happened across the boundaries and injuring people and how deep it can go. The narrative involves a brother crossing boundaries with his sister. Understand, sister is sister. May be from another father or another brother. Sister is sister. Brother is brother. Can't be, oh, it's not that important because it was a half sister. We don't walk around here cutting half. But how the father's reaction of taking no consequences to his son, how his other son feel like he need to step up and be the person of protection. And things got real bad real quick. So I'm saying, I'm asking you men, I will talk with the ladies later, to understand how what you say, how it affect your child in that house or not. You enjoying life now, some of you, and you just don't seem to have much time, or you always meant to, well, baby, I'm sorry I broke your promise. That becomes another layer on top of a layer if they've been violated. And then you heard saying someday, or him saying someday, I need you to understand. Fathers, don't just think it's your daughters that's getting touched where they shouldn't be. Your sons. And we need to practice. How about sitting down when a child isn't around and role play by yourself? You can look in the mirror or just pretend a child is there. And imagine if that child came up and said, the next door neighbor did this to me. Why didn't you tell your mama? I don't know. I don't want mommy to think I'm bad. Don't go ready to get at the mom. Do not fly off the handle. That's why you're practicing it. And there is no harm in making sure that story stands the test of time. You're not sure if you want to call the police? How about calling children's services? And just ask them and inquire. If they don't want to hear it, how about children's hospital? Most children's hospitals, and I would say that even about before you'd call children's services. How about contacting the children's hospital? Most children's hospital has a site there where they deal with the children that may have been wrongly touched, which we know that where that goes, and ask a few questions and see. They might say, hey, come in and listen. First thing people want to talk about is money. Hold on. Check with your insurance company. Call and find out now before you really need them. And hopefully none do. But listen, the research say, and if you look back at some of my previous videos, almost 60,000 cases of child abuse of the sexual nature. Of the sexual nature. Molestation and rape. So you calling to find stuff out was not a problem. I'm saying, fathers, let your sons and daughters say, he may not have been there every day, but when he was trying to make sure his best to see if I was okay. So come on, fathers. There's a thing that they're saying down here in Columbus. Take one problem and solve it. As parents, we have a whole lot to do. But let's keep the safety of our children at the forefront. And let's make it where if something happened, we're not in jail or in prison talking about we was trying to protect them. And now you're there and you're not out here to protect them and teach them more. I'm the author, Mimi P. Of My Body is a Sacrifice, and of the parental and instructor guide of My Body is the Sacrifice. I'm saying, fathers, you may not be in that home, but you still can keep your child safe. Mimi P, where body safety and confidence are essential to mental health. Have a great day.